one of the biggest stars on a TV show called Power. His name is Rotimi, and he talks about witchcraft in Hollywood and his lady being offered some pretty crazy opportunities. Okay, so shout out to Hardly Initiated. This is a fire podcast in the Atlanta area. I got to get with these dudes, man. I've been meaning to go on their podcast. They're super friendly. We got a conversation going about me going on there. Good dudes, do some good stuff. I think they've hosted like Philip Anthony Mitchell, Jackie Hill Perry. Nice. They've had some dope conversations. They've had some good debates as well.
And she didn't sacrifice herself with witchcraft.
Right.
And for real, like, you know, she's been approached to elevate to the next level.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Oh, that's a real thing, bro. That's a real, like, witchcraft, voodoo, juju, all of that is a real thing.
To get to the next level in career.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely, yes. Wow. It's a real thing. So she's been presented opportunities like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we move. This is the things that you have to do to get to this level by top execs. And she was like, I'm not with it. And then also she wasn't going to sleep her way to the top. So then it caused her.
Hold on. Those are your options?
You got two options?
You got two options? You got to do some witchcraft, or you got to bang some dudes,
or you got to get accepted to the Chosen. You got to put a tape in for the Chosen, or you gotta
look. I feel like this is crazy. I feel like this. I feel like I'm not saying the Christian music world is perfect. Lord knows it isn't. It has some issues. Mm-hmm. But I don't hear stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't hear like you gotta do voodoo and witchcraft, or you gotta sleep your way to the top. I don't hear stuff like this. So it's about to get to a place where the only like reasonable career you can have is if you become a Christian in entertainment. Like I feel like we're entering that phase. Now there'll be some goobers that are like, you know, I saw this one comment, not to veer off too much, but I saw this one comment, and someone was mad at me about the Candace Owens video.
Okay,
and they were like, you know, it's interesting. Ruslan came after Candace Owens because Candace Owens said Christ is king, which is not why I came after Candace Owens at all. And then within several weeks, he's hanging out with Jordan Peterson, and he has a book deal with Penguin Random House.
Ooh, I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's some folks that got brainworms that think that like anyone with a book deal and who has friends that are influential is already taken an oath and did the blood thing and whatever, right?
Wow.
There's Christians like that.
Tiny hats.
Yeah. Well, what is a tiny hats thing? You keep saying tiny hats. What is tiny hats?
Oh. That's what they call the Jews. Tiny hats.
But they were literally insinuating that
you were probably Illuminati or something.
That I'm with the tiny hats.
Wow.
Yeah, that I'm with the tiny hats, and the tiny hats got me connected with Jordan Peterson and got me a deal with Penguin. Now, understanding we had to deal with Penguin for like a year, and it takes a while to write a book. But then, from their perspective, like it's all connected. Like it's like, see, he went after Candace, and then he has a book deal and a book coming out, and he's connected to Jordan Peterson. It's like, I can assure you that no Jews paid me a visit.
Yeah.
No guys pulled up, you know, nothing like that. I've actually denied a ton of trips to Israel, you know. They do reach out with that, though. Shout out to the Jews.
Shout out to the Jews.
They will offer you a trip
campaigning
to Israel in a heartbeat. Yeah. Shout out to the Jews. But no one's reached out like that. No one's came to my house. No one sat me down, and you know. Anyway,
and she didn't have management really for real. So like, she's successful. She's doing all these things, and she's to the point where it's like, I'm drunk, man. I got a drink to get out my head and just find peace. And that with liquor brought depression. So at that point, she was like, this is not me. I love the music, but I hate the business. And she just was like, I can't do it anymore. So that was how she kind of let it go. But yeah, witchcraft, warlocks, and voodoo, juju, black magic, all of that is hyper real. That's what made me even believe more in God.
Right.
You know,
it's
come on.
It's a lot of people coming through that door, you know?
Yeah.
But I told you that it did. And it's not hiding it. It's just, you just desensitized to it that, no, this is a real thing. You know what I mean? So that's just the ways of the devil.
Has it, you know, you still in the industry, so has that caused any friction at all in your how have you both been able to manage still being able to, you know, be in the entertainment industry and still standing on what you stand on?
I just do the work, bro. You know what I mean? There's no gimmicks. You know, I don't do things for likes. I do it because this is my purpose. You know what I mean? So like, she knows who I am, so she knows she has nothing to really worry about. You know, so also she knows she has nothing to worry about, but then she also knows that how the industry is. Like, so she knows, oh, he's gonna be working long hours. He's got to go on tour. She did all these things at a high level herself. So
shout out to Caleb. He said, so did he sell his soul? She couldn't do it without selling her soul. That's a great question.
I don't think that's what he was saying.
Okay, what do you think he was saying?
He said she was offered
weird stuff.
weird, spooky stuff, and it got to her. So she started drinking, and then she started drinking so much that she became depressed, and was like, "I just don't want to be involved with people that are that spooky."
Okay.
And then she bounced. He said, "I'm gonna show up to work, and y'all some weirdos. I'm just here to work."
Yep.
So I think that's what he was saying.
Got you.
Yeah,
It's good.
he said she was over it, which I totally get.
I'm not distracted. I love my supporters. We chose not to play the game of just, yo, what are we gonna do for clickbait? You know, that's where it goes left. You know, and so it's like, I know that I could slap a girl on the butt and be like, yeah, this is nice, da 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 da, and then grind on her, and then it's gonna go on Shade Room.
Right.
You know, I know I can do that. Then whatever song I'm promoting at that time is going #1. I know my tour gonna sell out, but I'm not a gimmick. You know, I don't believe in those things. You know, and
Is he saying? I mean, I wasn't tracking there. Last time I heard of a rapper slapping a girl's butt, like it cost him his marriage.
Come on, who was that?
It was Chancellor.
Wow.
Right? He was at something out in
Yeah.
the Caribbean somewhere and at some festival. And
Maybe that was what he was referencing, though.
yeah, but that didn't help his music career. It hurt his personal life.
Heard everything.
Hurt
Pretty
everything.
bad.
Poor guy. He made a whole album about his wife and then was at something. And,
Did he get divorced?
you know, yeah, it's really sad. You know, so I don't,
That's not it.
I'm not tracking there with him. I mean, listen, there are pockets of the internet and there are worlds that I am not equipped to talk about and niches that I am not familiar with. So maybe there are worlds where this does work, you know, where you at some club with some thing, you know, and I don't know, maybe I haven't heard of a rapper popping off or an artist popping off because of a viral borderline,
Yeah.
you know. You smack some random girl's butt and go viral and then your song pops off.
I don't know.
But maybe, you know.
now I got to answer to somebody higher than that, like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? You know, and so, yeah. So, again, we realized with that mindset that, yo, let's build situations like this. Like, for example, focus on the tour. Focus on the people that genuinely love you. Focus on the ability to captivate everyone that gets your message and stop chasing things. I surrendered to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I surrendered to that. So now, but in doing that, I realized how many artists can go on a 30-city tour.
Right.
How many artists can do that? I say this, bro, you know, the biggest thing between a goat and a sheep, you know, I stopped trying to chase being a goat. A goat, if you look at a goat's ears are down, you know, that means you don't listen. But a sheep is ready to listen, and the ears is perky, and they listen to the voice. I'd rather be a sheep, you know what I mean?
I like it. And Jesus is a great shepherd to the sheep. He's, you know,
yeah.
I like it.
It's a little bit of a, it's the reference is going to fall flat because I feel like in culture, he's saying, I don't want to be the greatest of all time. I want to be a sheep.
And then sheep.
And sheep is like the bear, used as a brainless individual that follows whatever trend is happening.
Yeah.
So I like how he kind of he pioneered it. He switched it and said, I'm gonna make it something new. But if you were to just clip it, he said, I don't want to be the goat. I want to be a sheep. You're like, oh.
I think the beautiful part about where we are within this climate is that you don't need an executive to help you anymore.
Come on.
You don't need it. There, you can do your music, art, podcast, whatever you want to call it, at your level and sustain yourself and your family and not need anybody's help. Anybody's help in the sense of like some executives.
Yes.
That's the beautiful part about where we're at. Whether you're a rapper, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're whatever, you fill in the blank. That's the great part of where we are now. And so my concern with conversations like this is I think he is correct in that perhaps at some level in the echelon of music or film, you get asked to compromise. I think that's a fair assessment. Whether it's all the way with witchcraft and all the way in pimping yourself out.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's, I don't know. I've never experienced anything like that, but I think it's fair. My concern is that people hear this and it zaps them of their desire to make anything because now the lid has been placed on them that you have to compromise in order to do this. And thankfully, he's talking about going on tour and these other things, which I think is good because he balanced it out, right? But that's the concern is that it does two things. One, it zaps people's desire to build anything because they think the system is rigged, everything's against them, they can never do it.
Yeah.
And so now you've placed an invisible lid on yourself. And then 2, it can create a disdain towards people who are doing it.
Yes.
So now anytime Lecrae slightly stumbles, oh, see, it's because he's in the Illuminati, he sold the soul to the devil. I told you. Right?
Yeah.
And now you don't know that man. You don't know his struggles. You don't know the things he's dealt with. You
How
don't
do you
know.
think he got that Will Smith interview?
How do you think he got that Will Smith interview? It's clear he sold his soul.
Yeah.
It's clear he's compromised. And it's like, or he's a broken human that's struggling, has told you about his struggles repeatedly, has been open about it.
Come on.
Made some mistakes. And perhaps you should extend the same grace you would want extended to you if you were in that sort of situation.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. So it can, I'm not saying he is, but it can create more of a hypercritical spirit towards people who are successful and assuming the only way they became successful is by compromise, is by selling out.
I think it's actually just, I think it's places and industries.
Okay.
So I think if you go, meaning like, I don't even think it's a level of something.
Okay.
Right? Because there's like a Nick D who's hit a crazy level, right? Or a Connor Price, crazy, but they're not being offered crazy weirdo things. But an artist of the same size or lesser even in Hollywood, living in Hollywood, going to the record label buildings and having a million hands in their work, I think that's when it gets messy, because then there's like I think there's a lot of darkness in those spaces, not necessarily tied completely to. I would bet you there's a bunch of artists that did some witchcraft, did some weirdo sex stuff, that were new artists to labels and never popped off and got dropped. But they're doing some weirdo witchcraft sex stuff because they're in the weird spaces in Hollywood, in LA, doing the weirdo business with the weirdo people that are telling them, you do this weirdo thing with me and we'll make you famous.
Well, I wonder how many models got flown out by the Abercrombie and Fitch CEOs with dreams of becoming something, got paid, got ran through, and got sent back. You know, and nothing ever happened. They got paid. You know, how many people went to Diddy freak offs and did stuff that like they're ashamed of now with the hopes of,
and they work in a cubicle.
And they got that on their resume. They did that thing. You know, it's for
So I think it's probably way less correlated to actual fame and success and more correlated to like the circles you swim in.
Right. Justin said, I ain't gonna lie, Rue, you got some folks. Well, that's why I'm on the receiving end of some of this, right? I'm on the receiving end of like, I have a book deal. I'm hanging out with influential people. I have famous friends, and people start thinking that like, there's no way this happens because God wants it to happen. It's because I'm compromised. And then people come meet me, hang out with me, and then they wonder why there's so many people around me that are high integrity people that co-sign me. And it's like, well, because they know me and they've been around and they can see my life.
What was that one comment that was like saying some crazy stuff, and then it was like, why is nobody in Ruslan's circle speaking out about this?
It was a picture with me and John McCrae.
That's what it was. And so it's just funny because it's like, they're like, the rest of his circle is also compromised. Or what are they being told not to do? And it's like, no, you're thinking too deep about it. Like reverse the same thought.
Right.
Why is everyone not coming out and saying what's going on?
Yeah.
Maybe everyone knows there's nothing to come out about and say.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, it's interesting. But the flip side to this, and this is going to be weird, is like there's a degree of when you become the person that people are obsessed with, that is weird. That is weird. And then people who know you are willing to defend you and go to bat for you.
Come on.
And that is encouraging. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.